A wonderful day to everyone and welcome to this channel. Hello graded learners, this is your teacher on screen, Teacher Mel, and I'm from the Eastern Samar National Comprehensive High School, and I'm inviting you to another exciting learning experience. We are now on Quarter 3, Module 2A, and our topic is recognizing propaganda techniques used in a given text. Last time, we had discussion on examining biases made by the author, whether it is for or against. Can you still remember how to examine an author's bias? Let's have a short recap. You have learned in the previous lesson that a bias is basically when an author is unfair or inaccurate in his or her presentation of something. The question is, how can you spot a bias? Every author holds opinion that affects his or her discussion of an issue. Opinions that you, as a reader, must try to recognize and understand. In order to spot a bias, look closely at the following. 1. Word choice and connotation. 2. Names and titles. 3. Placement and size. 4. Selections or omissions. And 5. Images and videos. Now, one of the most common biases that you may encounter in a text is the author's use of different propaganda techniques. Before we go further, let's watch this sample TV advertisement and be ready to answer some questions later.
What makes a cream silk woman? It's not about expensive diamonds or a glamorous dress. All you need is confidence from beyond beautiful hair. Cream silk transforms the hair of the most beautiful woman in the universe, so she can be confidently beautiful with a heart. Transform yourself with cream silk.
Were you influenced by the advertisement you just watched? Was your decision influenced by it? You know, advertisement is a form of propaganda. Let's have a short game. This game is called Guess What? All you have to do is guess the correct term that suits to each of the following statements. Are you ready? Number 1. It is giving a bad label to a person or idea using an easy-to-remember name or description. The answer is name calling. Next, it consists of words that are filled with phrases. The answer is glittering generalities. Number 3, it is a technique used to convince the public to use a product because everyone is using it already. The answer is bandwagon. Number 4, a technique that uses a celebrity or famous person to claim that an idea is good or bad. That is testimonial. And number 5, when a symbol that carries respect, authority, or prestige is used along with an idea to make it more acceptable. The correct answer is transfer. Were you able to guess the correct terms? I'm sure you will find this topic interesting as you create your biases and stand on what you think is right. Let's get ready to learn something new. Make sure you have your module, your pen and paper, so you can take notes and follow the lesson. For today's discussion, we will talk about recognizing propaganda techniques used in a given text. After watching this video, you are expected to number 1, define what propaganda is. Number 2, find out the difference of the propaganda techniques used in a text. And number 3, recognize propaganda technique used in a given text. Oftentimes, people have negative thoughts about the word propaganda. They think of it as dishonesty or lies. However, propaganda is so common that people must learn to think critically to deal with it. Like persuasive techniques, propaganda techniques appeal more to one's emotion than to common sense or logic. What is propaganda? Propaganda is a form of communication that is aimed at influencing the attitude of a community towards some cause or position by presenting only one side of an argument. There are 7 most commonly used propaganda techniques in a text. A. Name calling. This is giving a person or an idea a bad label by using an easy-to-remember name to reject or condemn the person or idea without examining what the label really means. Examples: terrorists, rebels, activists. These labels are used by some politicians to address their rivals. In addition, these are proven to be effective in strengthening the support of the people who already support them. B. Glittering generalities. This is the use of strong and positive words to persuade us into accepting and approving things without examining the evidence. For example, the most notable statement that President Duterte delivered during his campaign for presidency was, "Change is coming." In this example, the word change can make people feel hopeful for the leadership that the person shall apply. C. Transfer. This is another propaganda technique wherein a symbol that carries respect, authority, sanction, or prestige is used along with an idea or argument to look it more acceptable. This method is also called guilt or virtue by association. Example is the use of Philippine flag or university seal. In this technique, using the Philippine flag as a backdrop for political event makes the impression that the event is patriotic. D. Testimonial. When a respected celebrity or famous person claims that an idea or product is good or bad. Example: a famous beauty queen gives her positive reviews about a beauty product. E. Playing false. This is the way that a speaker convinces an audience that an idea is good because it is the same idea of the majority of people just like yourself. Example: this is the will of the people. Another example would be when the speaker tells a story about a family that are just like you to reinforce the speaker's point of view. The most essential part of this technique is the speaker's portrayal of someone who shares the same experience with the audience. F. Bandwagon. This common propaganda method is used when the speaker makes an appeal that everyone is doing it, and so should you. Example: Marlon is not a fan of social media because he prefers to have a face-to-face conversation. However, most of Marlon's friends have joined social media. So, Marlon decided to create an account as well. The bandwagon effect is when a person, which is evident in this example, starts doing something because everybody else seems to be doing it. G. Scapegoat. It transfers the blame to one person or group without investigating the complexities of the issue. Example: Juan de la Cruz didn't practice social distancing and wearing a mask, so he got infected of the virus. As a result, he was furious and called up the government for not doing anything to stop the virus. The person in this example is avoiding personal responsibility by blaming the government for his actions. Those are just 7 of the propaganda techniques used by most writers, namely name calling, glittering generalities, transfer, testimonial, plain thoughts, and jargon. And indeed, it was a wonderful discussion. So let's wrap up what we discussed today. Propaganda is a form of communication that is aimed at influencing the attitude of a community towards some cause or position by presenting only one side of an argument. Can you still recall the 7 most commonly used propaganda techniques in a text? First is name calling, giving a person or an idea bad label by using an easy to remember name to reject or condemn the person or idea without examining what the label really means. Second, glittering generalities. This is the use of strong words and positive words to persuade us into accepting and approving things without examining the evidence. Third is transfer. This is another propaganda technique wherein a symbol that carries respect, authority, sanction, or prestige is used along with an idea or argument to look it more acceptable. Fourth is testimonial. When a respected celebrity or a famous person claims that an idea or product is good or bad. Fifth is plain false. This is the way that a speaker convinces an audience that an idea is good because it is the same idea of the majority of people just like you. Sixth is bandwagon. This common propaganda method is used when the speaker makes an appeal that everyone else is doing it and so should you. And the last is scapegoat. It transfers the blame to one person or group without investigating the complexities of the issue. Now learners, it's time to practice what we have learned in our lesson today. I want you to get your self-learning module and turn it to page 9, activity 2. Identify the propaganda technique used in each sentence. Write the answer on the space before the number. Are you ready? Number 1. Manny Pacquiao is a millionaire, but he presents himself as an ordinary citizen. Number 2. The flag that represents the nation. Number 3. An athlete made an online product review. Number 4. I can't believe her. She's such a gossiper. 5. He often says that he has thousands of people supporting him or believe in what he does. Dear learners, kindly check if you got the correct answers. Number 1. Manny Pacquiao is a millionaire, but he presents himself as an ordinary citizen. The answer is plain false. Number 2. The flag represents the nation. The correct answer is transfer. Number 3. An athlete made an online product review. This is a testimonial. Number 4. I can't believe her. She's such a gossiper. The answer is name calling. And for number 5, he often says that he has thousands of people supporting him or believe in what he does. This is an example of bandwagon. Did you get it all correct? Excellent! For you to master the different propaganda techniques, continue answering the other activities in your module. Remember, learners, that nowadays, black propaganda and fake news are everywhere, especially in social media. Therefore, it is our responsibility to distinguish the truth from lies. After knowing how to recognize the different propaganda techniques, provide some advice to yourself and to others about ways to resist unwanted social influence by completing the following statements. 1. Be aware that. 2. Be sensitive to. And 3. In the end, it must be remembered that. Congratulations everyone for a wonderful learning experience. This has been Teacher Mel saying education is your weapon in helping build the nation. Join me again next time for another fun-filled learning experience. Stay safe and goodbye everyone.